Okay, there's a couple of different ways that we can render our view, and I'm going to show you two ways. We'll come up into View, and you can see that we have it looks like a little teapot. Not sure why it's a little teapot, but if we click on Render, we will get a dialog box come up that looks like this. And we want to render it, and there are some quality settings. So at this stage, I'm going to put this one on medium because it does take a little while to do, and it depends on the processing power of your particular computer as to how long that will take to occur. Now, there's several things that we can adjust here. If we just want to see it on the screen, we could keep it at screen, or if you want to print this out at a later date, we can set it to printer and change the DPI to whatever quality you want. You're probably familiar with those sorts of figures when you're dealing with Photoshops or photos, printing them out. At this stage, I'm just going to leave it at screen, and we can also change the lighting. Now, we only have external lighting at this stage. There is the ability to put artificial lighting into our image, and I'll be showing you that in another video. But at this stage, we only have exterior sun only. And we can change some of the settings on that. If I open this box up here, and I'll just drag this onto the screen to show you, we can actually, at the moment it's just on lighting, but we can change things. We can put it still, and we can pick a time and a date in a location anywhere in the world, and that will give the sun coming on the house, because part of the rendering technique is also adding shadows and reflection to the drawing. So we can pick it anywhere in the world. We can pick single day, and we can have a whole day showing in a little movie, so it runs right through from morning till night in a series of how many frames you want to click on. You can have multi-days, so again it can travel at 1 hour, in this case 1 hour intervals over many days, and show you where the shade falls over different days. And obviously you can pick different times of the year as well. So if I come back to just lighting, really with the lighting I have the effect for having the sun coming from the left or the right. I'm just going to leave it as the default setting, and I'm just going to cancel that, in fact, because I haven't changed anything. This is the angle of the sun and the altitude of the sun, so you can change that if you want to as well. So there's lots of different things you can play around with there, and I expect that as you go along you play around with some of these figures and see what they do, because what we're after is try to get the best picture. But at the moment we're just going with the bare straight default settings. We can change the background. It'll actually put some clouds or some blue sky or no clouds. I'm just going to put a few clouds, I think. Will be good. And you can adjust whether it's hazy or clear. I'll leave it at clear at this stage, but again, you can do as many of these as you want. They only take a few minutes to do, and you can just come back in, change the settings. What I suggest you do is you write down those settings that you put in, so that then you know what's a good setting and what's not a good setting. And we can adjust exposure. I'm not going to get into this too much. This is more if you're probably familiar with using cameras or Photoshop. You can play around with some of the tones, make things look cooler or warmer, and brighter and darker, and etc, etc. Again, I'm not going to touch any of those on this first one. So we're ready to do a render, so I'll just take this off there a little bit so we can see, and I'm probably going to halt this because it will take a little bit of time, so I'll pause the video and then come in when it's nearly completed. So all you do is click on the render, and you can see you get a box coming up telling you how long it is to go, and all of a sudden the screen will go a little bit weird, as you can see there, and the rendering is starting to take place. Now I'm going to pause now, and I'll come back when it's nearly finished. Okay, that's finished now, and you can see that it's giving a very realistic view of the house. Not absolutely photographic realistic, and that obviously, if we could come right up to best here if we wanted to, and we could play around with some of these things to give us an even better look to that particular image. But it's a good start. So we can save that to the model. If you want to keep that one, you can save to the project and it will actually come in here. So if you're going to use it, please click on save to the project and it'll put it in 3D view, and you can actually name it if you want to. I'll just put in there test, and you can see where that will come up when I close all this down. So I'll just close that down. If we come in, have a look into our 3D, it should be there, but I think it's didn't name it test. Where is it? Not sure where that one went. It should be there. And yeah, here it is. It starts up a new box called rendering, and there's our test one there, and I can bring that back up at any time. But as I said, it's only a medium rendering, and we could get that a lot better. If you want to try and get some that use the best and see the difference between medium and the best, I'll let you do that. I'm not going to go on and do that in this particular video. Okay, we've got another way of rendering too, and you might have noticed that it's called render in the cloud. We're going to have a look at that in the next video. So go off to the next video and have a look at rendering in a cloud.